everybody, it's Tracy again from tplaysnice podcast. I'm tplaysnice on Facebook, Ravelry, Instagram, all the social media sites. This is my third podcast now, and I'm so blown away with all the lovely responses we've had on responses on here and in my forum now that I've just got up and running on Ravelry. Got lots of new members on there. Really chuffed. I thought it was going to be just me for a while and I would be kind of like watching the tumbleweed blow down the road, but no. As of this morning we have 42 members, and I would like to welcome you all, welcome new people to the podcast. If it's your first time watching, hello. Say thank you to the people that are returning to watch, and it's lovely to see you again. So as I say, we've got 42 members in the forum, and I'm just going to run through everybody's names. So feel free to come along and say hello and join in. There's a couple of things that I want to be adding on the forum, maybe today, maybe tomorrow. So I'd just like to say hello to One-to-One, AnneFran25, Baba Bats, who's Emma, and she's quite local to me. So howdy Emma, how you doing? Beagle Mom Knitter, Blueberry Chick, Seabag, Crafty Blue Knits, Crafty Knitter 7, Diana 61. Diana, thank you for allowing me to use your name. That's lovely. Floggig Knits, Four Eyes Knitting, Gerhinlos 22. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm not quite sure. Hey Jude 555, who follows me on Instagram as well. It's nice to see you on here, Jude. Knit Nerd, Knits for Sanity, Knit Crazy, Knitting for Life, Knitting Den's Denise, and I would like to give a great big thank you to Denise of the Knitting Den. She gave me a shout out on her blogcast the other day, and I just want to say thank you so much. Very much appreciated, and you have an awesome house. That's all I can say. I'd love a house like that. And the recent podcast with all the snow, oh, my heart melted, even if the snow didn't. It's lovely. Knitting Dogs, Lady Fernanco of Pen Hooks and Needles. Thank you again to you guys for the shout out on your podcast last week. I realise you're mainly a crochet podcast, but you've really inspired me to get my crochet hook out, and I can show you something a little bit in a minute that I have started crocheting again. So thank you for that. Lilia, Linda Dawn 64, Imiko, Loa Ann, Mac, Mama One Moose, Maori, Melly Mom, Nana Pie, Navy 1990, Nelso, OK Lynn, Orange Maid, Pam GR, Pam Gur, I'm not quite sure, but again welcome, and I hope I'm saying that right. Rose Bob, Shepherd's Knits, Simona Maloney, Tanya Marie of the Sampler Girl podcast, Tilly Trout, of course Tilly from Trout Mail, Tracy GH, and Victoria Blue. So welcome to all you guys to my podcast and the forum, and I hope we get chatting a bit more soon. It's a little bit quiet at the moment, but we're all new to that little forum, so hopefully as we progress on, everybody will start chatting a little bit more and telling us what they're eating, what they're doing, what they're drinking and things like that. So that's that one. So that's welcoming everybody and the special shout outs that I wanted to do. I'm recording on our JVC camera today. I normally record on my iPad, sorry, but last week I thought, oh, it's uploaded to YouTube, it's fine, I can delete some memory, and then I realised, nope, it doesn't allow you to do that, and I've accidentally deleted my first podcast. So sorry for those that like to have gone back and seen it again. It's gone into the ether, so never mind. So on with the podcast. What's that you're wearing? Well, today I'm wearing just a normal running Musketeer hoodie. I was going to be wearing the January sweater by Susan Crawford and another vintage knit, and I got it out of the closet wardrobe to put on this morning, and to be honest with you guys, it's got quite chilly, and not as chilly as some of you in America. We're nowhere near that, but it's turned a little bit, and it really is too cold to be sat in my craft room with my January sweater on, just the January sweater. So I'll try and get that up. I'll try and wear that for next time, perhaps. So finished objects. I haven't really got any finished objects this week because I've got so many knit-alongs going on, and I'm trying to work a little bit on each thing as I go. My work's a bit crazy. We've got staff out on sick at the moment, so we're covering overtime. Hoping that'll be sorted out soon because I'm not in the best place mentally and physically to work at the moment, so I'm hoping that'll be sorted out. Yeah, so finished objects, none knit wise, but I have got a project bag to show you. Oh, I thought I did. Excuse me. Oh, so my project bag I want to show you. I was gifted some material at Christmas from a quilting friend of mine, and yes, I do quilt. I've got 2 quilts downstairs. I probably could show you those next time. So I do a bit of quilting, but I actually got gifted some material from a friend of mine, and I thought project bag right away, and you'll see soon why I say that. So this is my messenger bag. That's the handle. Yes, I put a handle on this one. That's the little flap with the embellishment, but look at the fabric. Isn't that scrum-diddly? It's got all scissors and cotton reels and buttons, so I thought it can only be a project bag. It really can only be a project bag. And then I thought, if I'm clever, I can make this so it is totally reversible. Excuse me, I'm reversing it. So totally reversible. How cool is that? I still got to put a little embellishment there, but totally reversible project bag. And I had some material left, so I made a little notions bag to match. And again, it's one of those clicky ones. And this time I remembered to put the clicky in the right place, the right way round, so it really does click quite nicely. So that was my finished object this week. Not a knitted or crocheted finished object, but knitting related. So I think I got away with that one. So that's that one. Just a quick mention, I'm looking a bit different this week. I've tried to get my hair, it really needs a cut. My hair really needs a cut, and I'm off to my friend's, I think on Saturday. And whenever my friend gets hold of my hair, she does a different style. But I'm hoping that this time I'll be able to convince her to do one that's going to make me look nice and grow. I can just age into it and just keep one style now. I'm fed up playing around with all different hairstyles. So I've done my makeup because I watched Kimmy Knits, Kim and Sam, Kermit Von Frog. And Kermit Von Frog does some lovely makeup tutorials, and they always look really glam in their podcast. So today, homage to Sam. I've done my makeup. I'm not promising I'll be able to do it every week, but I've done it for this week. And I'm not used to doing makeup because a lot of you may not realise this. Last year I was running half marathons, and I was going to the gym quite a lot, and I was swimming quite a lot. But then I got a little bit poorly mentally. Didn't want to do anything, didn't want to go anywhere. So I kind of let everything slide, and I struggle on a daily basis to go to work. But you don't want to know about that because it's depressing, and I don't want my podcast to go that way. So skim over that. So at the moment, I'm trying to get a little bit glam again, because when I started running, I stopped doing my makeup and my hair quite so much. I just was clean and tidy, but didn't let the girly girl come out to play very often. So the girly girl is going to start coming out to play, and I am actually starting to watch what I eat again, and I am actually starting to run on my treadmill. I've gone right back to do a program called Couch to 5K. And I actually went back to the gym last night with my gym buddies, and boy did I know I hadn't been to the gym for a long time. I have gone right back to the beginning, lifting the weights, and my friends are still up really high, and I'm kind of like, but I don't care because I'm there and I'm doing it and I'm trying, and that's all that matters. So back on to the knitting. What's on your needles? What's not on my needles, more to the point? I have got so many things I need to be doing, and I'm working on it at the moment. The Snuggle Jumper by Rico, that is coming on very well. I finished the front and the back, and I'm on to the shaping of one arm. So hopefully I can crack on with that if work allows in the next couple of days. And hopefully by the end of next week, not this week, by the end of next week, I hope to have that all but finished. So that would be nice. I haven't brought it to show you. It's in my bedroom and I forgot. So sorry. Then with Denise from the Knitting Den and the lady from Apple Blossom and You, I think, podcast, they're doing a knit along together, and I know that the girls from Pen Hook and Needles allow you to post as well. There's all these, they're doing a sweater along, Knitting Den and Apple Blossom and You, I think, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, are doing the Lawrence knit along, so you can kind of dip into all three of those and get them on there. So I've decided to join in with the knit along of Lawrence, and I love the pattern. Oh, I want to show you too much. I don't know whether you can see that. If I love the pattern, but it's in a worsted weight yarn, and worsted is quite difficult to get over here. It's normally between a double knit and a Aran weight. And while I was in one of our House of Fraser stores over here, but in Plymouth it's called Dingles for some reason. It's called House of Fraser everywhere else, but I think it was Dingles a long time in Plymouth, so it stuck. They've got a wool franchise, yarn franchise in there, and they allow you to buy your wool, but you can put balls back and buy it on what we call layaway, so you can put 10 balls back, go in, buy 2 balls, keep going in. So that's really good. And while I was in there the other day, I noted they had some Rowan wool. They had the felted tweed in double knit, and they also had it in Aran. Now I wanted my Lawrence to be quite lightweight because I'm going to wear it with a long sleeve t-shirt underneath it for like the latter part of winter going into spring, and then summer going into autumn wear. And I picked up the double knit version, and this is shade 0165, and it's Ski, and it's lovely felted, and you can't really see it there, it's looking more greys on there, but it is very, what I would call a smoky grey with blue, and it's got a little bit of a halo on it. So I've basically done the cowl, and I've done my welts. Now I know I made a little bit of a boob on my welt. I went into to 7 rows down instead of 6, but I can live with that. And I'm now on to the patterning. I'm just getting the pattern going. So that's coming along quite nicely. So that's one of my works in progress. And it's coming out nice lightweight. It's coming out quite light, which I'm going to like that a lot. Last week I mentioned Westering Home by Kate Davies. Westering Home by Kate Davies. Now, as soon as I saw this project on Ravelry, I just went, got to have that. That is Westering Home by Kate Davies. Now I love cable work. I am addicted to cable work. So I've promised last week I would cast that on. And I have, and I've cast it on for my mum for Christmas 2015. And to do that, I had to learn how to do provisional cast on, which I did. And it's like a figure of 8, and you do a figure of 8 motion with your hand, and you trap the your waste yarn around your working yarn, and you cast on 2 stitches, it seems like, every time you do this figure of 8 motion. There's a video on YouTube, it's fantastic to follow. And so I've cast that on. It's 286 stitches, no matter what size you do, because there are 3 sizes and each size is done on a different size needle to get gauge. So you can see I've cast it on, and it's basically, it's got a bit of garter stitch, and then you've got some stocking stitch, and then you start your cabling. Now I'm trying to get to a piece where there's some cabling. I'm showing you the wrong side. And then you start your cabling, and that's all I've done up to now, and that's coming out really orangey red on my video screen, but it's quite a nice soft red. The Women's Institute yarn that I bought is actually really soft for an acrylic yarn. I am well impressed with the way it's knitting, and yeah, so I cast on my Westering Home. Now that's going to be a project in long on progress, plop, according to Tilly Trout. So that one's cast on, so I'm working on that at the moment. Now Tilly is doing a cozy along for tea cozies, and I just know my daughter likes her cup of tea and she likes a teapot. So I've been off and bought a white teapot this week for her for Christmas next year. I know, Christmas next year, crazy. But I want to be organised, and I'm doing this little teapot in the cozy along, and it's called Miss Teapot. So I'm doing that one, and that one started on Monday, and I've cast it on, and I've done that much up to now. Time is very limited this week, but yeah, so that's how far I've got with my cozy along. Not loving this pull it tight to get the pleats thing that you have to do on the back, but it'll be fine. It will be fine. It's only a tea cozy. I haven't got to do a garment in it. So that's, and if you're interested in joining the cozy along, it's with Tilly Trout in Troutmail Forum on Ravelry, and it's a lovely group, very chatty and lovely ladies. So that's the cozy along. And then while I was watching the pen hook and needles, I realised I haven't crocheted for so long, and there's a story to tell. I taught myself to crochet a long time ago. Must have been about 17, 18. Yeah, about then. And I'd found a pattern online, free pattern online, and I downloaded it. And it was USA, and I followed the links to the knitting, the crochet instructions on that. And I can't even remember what pattern it was, what form it was, where it was. I can't remember, it was so long ago. But it was, what was it online? Or was it a friend lent me her book? I lie. A friend lent me a book, and I did a pattern in the book, and I followed the instructions in the book, and I thought that's fine, I can crochet. And then I went into a local yarn words, Tracy. I get muddled when I talk fast. The brain does not compute to the lip sometimes. I went into my local yarn shop. That's what confuses me. I call them a wool store. It's a yarn shop. And I went into that one, and I saw a crochet pattern I liked, and I picked it up, and I picked up the wool, and the lady said to me, because I was only about 17, 18, "Oh, you can crochet?" And I'm like, "Yes, I can crochet." I talked to myself. And I was very pleased with myself that I could say that. And I took the yarn home, and I took some hooks, and I took the pattern. And a week and a half later, I went back to the store, and I said, "I don't know, can you help? I don't know what I'm doing, but it's not looking like that. And I'm following all the instructions. It's just not right." And the lady said to me, "Can you show me how you crochet?" So I was showing her one of the crochets that I was instructed to in the pattern. And she looked at me and she said, "Do you realise you crochet USA?" And I went, "No." She said, "USA and UK crochet terminology are different, and you're crocheting USA." So then I had to reteach myself how to crochet UK, which I do, but I still get muddled even now on the stitches. So every time I get out a new pattern, I have to look online and find out what crochet I'm supposed to be doing. Anyway, I digress, long story. I decided to do a blanket, and I found on Ravelry Painted Roses blanket by Sandra Paul. Now it's a lovely blanket and it's done in granny squares and it's lovely colours and it's beautiful, and it would look lovely in this room. It's not for this room. I'm doing it from our bedroom, and we're going to go with like beige colours and duck egg tones in there, so it's nice and relaxing because I struggle to get to sleep, so it can't be too busy. So, and hubby said he likes the blanket, but please not so many colours. So I went off, and this is my only stash enhancement. Excuse me, snorting and stretching. For this week, I went off and bought just 4 balls because it's yarn you can get in most places, and I thought, you know what, the shades will be the same even if the dye lot aren't, and it's for a blanket, and I don't want the expense of going out and buying all the yarn for a blanket in one go. I'm quite happy to pick up 1 ball and live with the consequences of a shade variation in my blanket. So I bought these colours. Now this is Bonus Hayfield, the cream. This is Sardar Snuggly, and these two are Sublime. And I haven't got the ball bands with me, but those are the colours I'm actually making my blanket in. And I've actually started, and I did my first crochet square. Now I know there's a little mistake in one of the corners, and I can't for the life of me figure out what I've done, but this is just going on a blanket. So that is my first square, and that's my colourway. And then I've started my second flower, so it's going to alternate between mainly blue and mainly beige, and that is my second one. So my crochet hook is back out! Yay! Quick! So that's my works in progress. I have a fashion to make. I have got 2 projects that I talked about in the last 2 weeks that are going to be frogged. Strike me down, I am frogging the Boo Knits New Beginnings shawl, the red one that I was knitting, purely because I love the pattern. One day I'm going to finish a Boo Knit shawl and be happy with it. It's just I'm not in shawl mood at the moment. Nothing to do with the pattern, nothing to do with the yarn, and nothing to do with me really. Apart from that, I'm not in the mood for shawls, or that they're too no, it's not even that they're too complicated, because Boo Knit shawls aren't complicated. And she admits to that. She likes to keep things easy, and they look beautiful. And the New Beginnings one, I picked the yarn. I picked Bajir Magic in the Brique colourway, another red, and I started to knit it up, and noticed pretty soon it was knitting up way too thick, and there's nobody that I could gift it to that would wear it that thick. So it's being frogged. I'm going to use the yarn for a nice top that I've seen, and I'm going to find some lovely yarn to do the pattern justice. So that is being frogged. I'm not upset about frogging stuff. Sometimes when you buy yarn, a pattern, and you get together with me, the user, things don't come together nicely, so life's too short, and I will frog quite happily. And another thing I'm frogging is the socks that I started for the Canadian podcaster True Canuck Girls Sock Along, purely because life is too short to knit socks on straight needles. The pattern I picked was done on straight needles, and I was not feeling it. Looking at them thinking I'm going to have to sew 2 pairs, and I know it's not big, but it's like, I know I can knit socks in the round with no sewing, so I am not going to sew socks. So there. My stash enhancement, apart from the 4 balls for the blanket, I've got none. I've got none. Nothing. Zip. Sad face. Not impressed. But I have looked into, there's a company down my way called Devon Sun Yarns, and they do a box a month type thing, and you sign up and you order 1, 2 or 3 skeins a month depending on what you want. I've gone for 1, and they send you a mystery skein every month. and I think it's £15, which I thought is not bad because it's hand dyed and they're loco. So I've signed up for 3 months to see how it goes, and I'm just waiting to hear back. I've seen on Facebook, because they're on Facebook, I think I've just missed by a couple of days that she's just done a send out, so I think I'll be in line for the next one, hopefully, if I've signed up correctly. I might give them a nudge on Facebook and say, did I sign up correctly? So yeah, that's kind of like a stash enhancement. So I've got a couple of I need it in my lives to share this week, and the first one is a pattern I've seen on Ravelry, and I'm just trying to get there, and it is called the Fair Isle Twin Set. Bear with. Bear with. I love that program. And I'm hoping it'll be the first one to come up in the search. I'm hoping. No, it hasn't. You can probably hear me clicking. There's really interesting podcasting for you, isn't it? Watching me put my head down. It's not coming up. Oh, it's not coming up. What's a girl to do? Nope. Can't find it today. But it is on there, and it's the Fair Isle Twin Set by Mariner Yarn. It's a vintage pattern, and it's basically models in those days. Do you know that they had the bra that would make them quite pointed? And she's like that. She's literally a triangle, this lady on the pattern, and it's a grey down there, down the bottom half, and then on just above bust it transverses into red, but across where the two colours join they do a little white pattern, and it's beautiful, and it links through to a lovely beautiful vintage website, and I need it in my life. I do really need it in my life. I need to knit that pattern. I don't know when, but I've saved it to my library, I think, and I really need it. And again, while I was on the interweb and stash browsing like you do, I went on to Etsy and was looking at all the scrummy yarns that I want to buy when I win the lottery, and I found a company called the Yarn Tree UK. And they had the most gorgeous skein of bluey green yarn with a silver sparkle to it. And it's lovely. And I need it in my life. It is a beautiful, beautiful sock yarn. They've got some beautiful yarns on there. And that one just blew me away, basically. So, and while I was on there, on one of the links on Etsy, I saw somebody selling base yarn. And that kind of like ticked a little box in my head. I like to learn things, and I said as soon as I saw the base yarn, well, they've got to colour that. How do they do that? How do these indie dyers do this? So I looked on YouTube and found a couple of podcasts that were showing you how to dye your yarn. Oh my god, I have got to try it. I am going to be addicted to that. For me, I do not feel a new enterprise coming on or anything like that. No. There's too many clever dyers out there for that. But that I would like to try. And I would also like to try spinning. Now, I know there's a Wool Fest coming down this way, and I think I've got a feeling it's the end of May. that I would love to go to, but unfortunately it's the day before my holiday. I fly out on holiday for my 45th birthday in June, and I've got a feeling it's right the day before my holiday, and I would love to do, and they've got spinning workshops. I might see if I can get packed ready before and then sneak off to this Wool Fest. This Woolly Fest, there is a there is a Ravelry group set up for it, and I'm desperately trying to... It's brilliant because when you're not recording on your iPad, you can actually go onto your Ravelry and find things that you haven't written down to tell people about. I will try and put show notes up this week. I know I failed last week, but I was going to put them in the group and time just slipped away. So I've kind of like pre-prepared show notes that are going to go up on my blogspot, tplaysnice.blogspot.co.uk, and I will try and put them in the Ravelry group as well. Anyway, the Wool Fest is called Proper Woolly, and it is an event coming to the southwest, Holsworthy Livestock Market. So that would be really good if anybody local to me would like something like that. Proper Woolly, they have a group on Ravelry and there's discussions ongoing in there. It tells you all about how to get some free tickets, and they update in there quite a lot. So that is about it for me this week. It seems to be a short one. I've showed you my works in progress. I've showed you my finished object that was knitting related, and a few other things. I've told you that I want to go back getting fit, and I want to get back doing my exercising. Podcast, I haven't quite decided yet whether it's going to be weekly or fortnightly, so bear with me. At the moment it's weekly, but if life gets too busy I might have to skip a week every now and again. Talking of the forum, I would like to do something like a birthday section. So we all have got, I don't know, maybe if everybody emails me their birthday and addresses, and I can send out to those people that request the form with your permission, so we can send little like birthday cards or little random acts of kindness out every now and again. I think that would be a fun thing to do. I'd like to do that muchly myself. I've also thought of maybe doing on the same type thing, having a little section where we list patterns we would like and that we've got in our library, and not necessarily for anybody to gift them to us, but I might do that every now and again, just gift an odd one, or vice versa. You never know. There are so many lovely people out there you don't know, and I don't want anybody to feel pressured into doing anything like that, but I thought it would be fun to have things like that, as well as give along. I want to do some prizes and things, and I know I'm getting close to 100 followers on, or subscribers on the channel, so maybe I might do something when I get to 125. Not sure. We'll have to have a dig around and see. But there's one last thing I would like to talk about, and I've left it to last because I might get emotional. Sorry. My auntie came visiting the other day. Now, my auntie lives in Portsmouth, and she came down to visit my mum. Now, my mum was the youngest of 13 children, and of actual children, there's only my mum and my auntie left. We've had quite a few the last couple of years, hence my state at the moment, that have passed away. And 2 within a week of one another, just before Christmas. But anyway, so my auntie came visiting, and there's only one in-law left, I think. I don't want to offend anybody by saying there's only one in-law left, but I think Auntie Do's the only in-law left. But Auntie Dolly came visiting, and as I said, she lives in Portsmouth, and I was talking to Auntie Dolly, and we were talking about my nan. Now, my nan passed away I think it was 27 years ago, because my daughter was 1. So I think Nan passed away 27 years ago. My Nan was amazing. She was a seamstress, and she taught those that wanted to cook, to sew and to knit. And I loved my Nan. Lots. She was a battle axe, but she was a lovable battle axe. And I was talking to my auntie, and I was just reminiscing and said, I can remember when I was little going round to my Nan's, and my excitement of the day after we played Magic Robot, which was a board game, was that I was allowed to sit and tidy Nan's sewing box. And I used to love it. I used to love sitting there and just tidying, putting all the cottons in colours and doing all that. And then I used to tip out Nan's button box every week and sort out buttons. And she used to cut buttons off clothes and when she bought buttons and things like that. And I said I loved Nan's button box, and I loved Nan's book that she had, which was a wartime book all about make, do and mend, making children's clothes out of worn out adults' clothes. And I loved the book. And we just had a good old catch up and reminisce. And then my mum went off to see my auntie in Paynton one day, and she came home. She said, I got a parcel for you from Auntie Dolly. Long story short, Auntie Dolly had come down to visit my cousin in Paynton and brought the parcel down. And when my mum went up to see my cousin in Paynton, sorry, Brixham, near Paynton in Devon, she brought the parcel home to me. And I opened it up, and oh my God, I blubbed like a baby. Inside was my Nan's button tin, with the buttons inside, and the book from the wartime. I'll show you the book next time because it's downstairs and it's a bit fragile, and I need to tidy up here before I bring it in. So, but Nan's, it's brimming. There is a bit of elastic in there. I don't know why there's elastic. Maybe it's just Nan's. And I mean, you can see she cut things off, toggles. Do you know what? And there's some buttons in here. You think, Nan, do you think they're worth keeping? But buttons, really, really unusual buttons. And it looks like Nan, when she bought something new, and you get the little button pack on, where most of us just take it off and chuck it away. Not my Nan. She kept them. All of them. Look. So many different buttons. And the most amazing thing when I opened up this button box. Now I know my gran smoked, and we all joke about Nan's fag ash and coconut buns because the woodbine would be out. We grew up on coconut buns that did us no harm. We were all fit and healthy, but the fag ash might have dropped a little bit into the mixture, and we just laughed and joked, and it was, nobody's buns tasted quite like Gran's. But as I was saying, the most amazing thing that hit me when I opened this box was the smell. I can smell my Nan and my Nan's house. My Nan's house was demolished a couple of years ago for regeneration, and my mum and I cried because well, the memories, they are memories. The memories are still there, but the physical house has gone. So she can't go back and see where she was a child. And I find that quite upsetting. I find it upsetting enough that my school that I went to as a child has been knocked down. But the regeneration, but my Nan's smell. My Nan's smell. You just can't get that back. And we always say if you could bottle something, you would. And when I lost my dad, I wish I could bottle his scent. And my dad used to wear, because my mum was an Avon rep, a scent by Avon. And they still do it. They've been doing it a long time. They still do it. And my mum, without thinking it, buys my husband the same scent every year. My husband doesn't wear it, but we have 2 bottles of it. And when nobody knows that I do it, I spray my pillow so I can smell my dad. And that's the same with my Nan's button box. So, I have that, and it's so lovely to have. I think I've discussed everything around Podland and forum wise and knitting wise, so I think it's time for me to say goodbye for this week, and I hope you all enjoy your knitting and you get some projects finished and you enjoy the forums and the podcast and you just enjoy your hobby. So until next time, bye bye.